Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Durrani Munira, matrix number 311653. The title of the presentation today is ABC Application in Service Industry. Firstly, I am going to introduce the members of my group, Nur Hafika, Irfahani, Darlina Darwisha, and Sadatun Nisa. Together, we have spent the last few weeks researching for our topic, specifically focusing on how it works in the service industry. My name is Durrani Munira, matrix number 311653. I am presenting the introduction for the topic. ABC stands for Activity-Based Costing. It is a method used to find the true cost of providing a specific service by breaking down exactly how much time, labor, and resources go into each step of the process. Unlike manufacturing, where you can easily count the raw material used to build a physical object, the service industry deals with invisible costs like employee hours, software license, and office space. ABC makes these costs visible. The core concept of ABC is instead of just taking all overhead costs like rent and utilities and spreading them evenly across every service, ABC tracks costs through a simple chain: resources, activities, and service. Firstly, identify the activity. What specific tasks are employees doing? For example, answering customer emails, processing a loan application, and onboarding a new client. Secondly, assign resource cost. How much does it cost to perform that activity? If a support agent earning $30 per hour spends 20 minutes on an email, that specific activity costs $10 in labor. Thirdly, link to the service. Multiply that cost by how often the activity happens for a specific service or client. Why is it matters for services? The service industry heavily relies on ABC because it prevents a common trap, which is the cross-subsidization of service. Without ABC, a company might think service A and service B are equally profitable because they bring in the same revenue. However, activity-based costing might reveal that service A requires 5 times as many customer support hours as service B. By exposing these hidden costs, business can price accurately. They can charge more for service that eat up a lot of administrative or support time. Secondly, identify inefficiency. Spot which internal processes are taking too long and costing too much. Lastly, they may drop unprofitable clients. They will realize when a high revenue client is actually costing money because they demand constant heavy lifting activities. Differences between the service industry and manufacturing. The core difference boils down to what you are paying for. In manufacturing, you are buying a physical, tangible object. In the service industry, you are buying an action, expertise, or an experience. Because of this fundamental split, the two industries operate, measure success, and manage costs in completely different ways. The first difference features tangibility. Service industry is intangible because the output is an experience or an act. For example, a haircut or a legal consultation. However, for manufacturing, it is tangible because you can touch, see and store the output such as a smartphone or a car. Next, in the service industry, the inventory is perishable because services cannot be stored, such as an empty airline or an unbooked hotel room, is lost revenue forever. As for manufacturing, the inventory is storable because goods can be produced today, kept in a warehouse, and sold months later. The customer contact for service industry is more direct because the customer is often directly involved in the process. Manufacturing, however, is indirect, which is customer can rarely see the factory or the people building the products. Service industry's quality control is subjective. Quality is often judged during delivery and depends heavily on human interaction and perception. As for manufacturing industry, it leads to objective because defective items can be caught and rejected on the assembly lines before shipping it. And lastly, location or scale of service industry is decentralized because it usually needs to be located close to the customer. Manufacturing, however, is more centralized because a single factory can supply products to the entire world. Why does the differences between service industry and manufacturing matters for business operations? It is because these industries are so different. They require entirely different management strategies. Labor versus automation. Manufacturing can heavily rely on automation and robotics because machines excel at repeating the exact same physical task. Services rely much more on human labor, soft skills, and emotional intelligence because every customer interaction is slightly different. Costing complexity. As we touched on with activity-based costing or ABC, tracking costs and manufacturing is straightforward. You know exactly how much steel goes into a bicycle. In services, tracking costs require analyzing human time, software utilization, and overhead, making it much trickier to price accurately.
My name is Nuralina Darisha Batiamat Daris. My metric number is 313458. I will talk about how banks use ABC. The first one is loan processing. ABC is used to calculate the actual cost of services like loan, deposit, and transaction. Next, customer service operation. ABC is used to measure the cost of activities performed by employee or services. Moving on to the next one, ATM and digital banking system. Bank use ABC to assign costs based on the transaction volume and operational activities. Moving on to the next one, customer profitability analysis. ABC used to identify which customer or services generate higher profit by tracing costs involved in serving them. Lastly, pricing financial products. Bank use ABC information to determine appropriate fees, services, and pricing strategies. I have provided two examples of ABC in banking. The first one is Bank Syariah Indonesia (BSI) and the second one is Arafidan Bank in Iraq. Let's take a look at the summary of it. The ABC method that Bank Syariah Indonesia used is time-driven activity-based costing, while Arafidan Bank used the performance-focused activity-based costing. The Bank Syariah used ABC to calculate the actual cost of saving account services. Meanwhile, Arafidan used it to measure the cost of banking services and operational activities. The purpose of ABC for Bank Syariah Indonesia is to improve the cost allocation and cost accuracy, while Arafidan is to improve cost measurement and performance evaluation. The outcome of ABC for Bank Syariah Indonesia is that more accurate service costing and better managerial decision. Meanwhile, for Arafidan is better cost control, efficiency, and decision making. Lastly, the benefits for Bank Syariah Indonesia is accurate allocation of banking services cost. Meanwhile, for Arafidan is enhanced performance and cost management. Why banks need ABC? There are four benefits of ABC. The first one is accurate cost allocation. ABC provides more accurate cost allocation by tracing costs to specific activities rather than distributing them evenly across all services. This allows banks to understand the actual resources consumed by activities such as processing loan and handling customer inquiries. Next, improve decision making. ABC improve decision making by providing detailed cost information. Bank can evaluate which product, service, or customer segment generate the highest value, highest return, and allocate resource more effectively. Then, control operational cost. ABC also support cost control by highlighting activities that do not add value. By identifying inefficiency, banks can streamline their operations and reduce unnecessary expenses. Lastly, enhance competitive advantages. ABC contribute to better pricing strategies. When bank knows the true cost of delivering services, they can set fees that are more competitive while still maintaining profitability. Overall, ABC helped banks to improve efficiency, profitability, and long-term performances.
So I'll explain about the ABC application in service industry but for restaurant. So I will explain why ABC need in the restaurant, because let's begin by understanding ABC in the first place. Traditional costing methods are too simple for restaurant environment because restaurant deal with a wide range of indirect costs such as electricity, labor, cleaning, and kitchen maintenance that are difficult to assign accurately to individual menu items. This is where ABC comes in. By identifying specific activities and their costs, ABC allows restaurant manager to assign costs more precisely to each menu item, which is also trace overhead individual menu item instead of spreading them randomly. So, in a restaurant, different items consume different resources, like a steak takes longer to cook, a salad needs more prep, and etc. So, ABC captures that diversity. So, how exactly ABC apply in restaurant? This process involves 4 steps. The first one is restaurant need to identify all of its major activities like cooking, serving, cleaning, and billing. Second one, costs are assigned to each of these activities. Third, cost drivers are identified, which is these are the factors that cause the cost to increase, such as number of order taken or number of hours worked. The last one is these activity costs are allocated to each menu item based on how much of each activity it consumes. This gives a far more accurate picture of profitability compared to traditional method. So based on the article that I find, which is the activity based costing in the restaurant industry by C and Zamki, they provide the example of the case example of ABC applied in restaurant, which is the first one of fine dining restaurant in the US. Here, labor costs are high, but sales volume was low. That means the facility sustaining costs like rent and insurance got spread over very meals, making each item look more expensive. ABC revealed the true cost and help management decide which high labor dishes to replace. The second one is support kitchen in a Las Vegas casino. So, ABC helped them decide what to make in-house versus outsource. They actually started producing some items internally and stopped making others by saving significant money. Based on the article also tell us that the application ABC in restaurant, because in this article the authors examine 11 different studies across the buffet, fine dining, quick service, and even casino support kitchens. That gives us confidence that ABC is not just a theory, it has been tested in real operation. Secondly, it clearly shows that ABC is superior to traditional contribution in margin analysis, because in almost every case study, contribution margin show profit, but ABC reveal an actual of operating loss. That's a powerful wake-up call for managers. Third, in the article also mentioned it did not just copy manufacturing ABC model, but ABC made practical modification for restaurant, like using only 2 cost pools, which is front of house from back of house activities. That makes ABC feasible, not just academic. So, lastly, I want to talk about the article of by Rap and C. Zamki prove that ABC help managers to reduce waste, target profitability customer, and make better menu engineering decisions. For example, the ABC can know which item need to reprice, which item need to eliminate, and which item to promote. These are reals because it's actionable insight.
My name is Nisa and my matrix number is 314922, and today I will be walking you through the application of activity-based costing within healthcare services, focusing on our public health institutions. Malaysian public healthcare operates under a heavily subsidized government welfare model designed to provide accessible and affordable medical care to the population. However, managing costs in this sector is a major challenge because healthcare is an incredibly complex service environment. Hospitals carry massive indirect overhead structures ranging from multi-million ringgit medical assets and continuous facility maintenance to highly specialized clinical labor. Under traditional accounting systems, these massive overheads are averaged out using simplistic volume-based metrics such as total patient days. From a strategic cost management perspective, this creates severe cost distortions. An intensive care unit patient utilizes a drastically higher amount of resource minutes, utility power, and clinical attention compared to a routine outpatient clinic checkup. When you blindly average these expenses, low-intensity services artificially subsidize high-intensity services on paper, completely hiding the true operational reality. Activity-based costing resolves this fundamental failure. It shifts management's focus from what a hospital spends to what it actually does, tracing public resources directly to specific clinical activities and establishing absolute transparency over how funds are consumed. To provide a rigorous data-driven critical review within our local Malaysian context as preferred by our guidelines, I analysed an empirical research study conducted at Penang General Hospital. This study successfully implemented an ABC framework to isolate and calculate the absolute operational cost of a single standard clinical service, the chest X-ray. Instead of relying on broad historical estimates, the researchers tracked the radiology department workflows using stopwatches to record the exact labor minutes spent on every patient transaction. Through this micro-level activity analysis, they broke the chest X-ray service delivery down into 5 core sequential activities. First, patient registration at the counter. Second, clinical patient preparation. Third, patient positioning relative to the equipment. Fourth, the actual machinery X-ray exposure. And fifth, the physical film processing and developing in the darkroom. The quantitative findings derived from this ABC model are highly eye-opening. The study concluded that the true operational cost of producing a single chest X-ray service at Penang General Hospital is exactly 5 ringgit 65 cents. The structural power of ABC lies in its ability to dissect this total into direct resource pools. The data revealed that consumables, specifically the physical film sheets and processing regions, accounted for the highest single expense at 2 ringgit 15 cents, making up 38% of the total cost. This was followed by capital costs, representing machinery depreciation at 1 ringgit 98 cents, human resource labor, calculated using civil service pay scales relative to the exact minutes spent on the patient, cost 1 ringgit 48 cents, while electricity via commercial TNB tariffs was minimal at 4 cents. From a strategic cost management perspective, these insights offer profound benefits to public health administrator. First, it enables the elimination of non-value added waste. By putting a clear price tag on micro activities, hospital management can easily spot operational bottlenecks, such as excessive patient waiting times or redundant administrative paperwork, and streamline workflows to optimize capacity. Second, it drives informed technology transformations. Because the ABC data explicitly prove that physical film consumables were the largest variable financial drain on the department at 38%, it provided hospital directors with clear financial justification to upgrade to digital, filmless imaging technology. Doing so completely erases the 2 ringgit 15 cent material film cost from the operational budget, proving how ABC directly guides smart capital investment decisions. Finally, it allows for accurate clinical tariff setting. Because public healthcare is government funded, knowing that a procedure costs exactly 5 ringgit 65 cent empowers the Ministry of Health to allocate national subsidy budgets with absolute precision, ensuring public funds are distributed exactly where operational demand exists. In conclusion, activity-based costing successfully transforms public healthcare from a system of arbitrary budget spending into a highly visible data-driven tool that maximizes clinical efficiency and taxpayer value. Thank you for your time.
Hi, I'm Irfahani binti Ruzi and my metric number is 313545. Before I begin, I would like to ask one simple question. Imagine you own a hospital, right? And at the end of the month, you discover that your operating costs are increasing, but you are not sure which services are actually consuming the most resources. Is it patient consultation, laboratory tests, or emergency services? That's why many organizations use ABC. However, implementing it is not always easy. Therefore, in this section, I will start discussing about the challenges of ABC implementation. The first one is the complexity of data collection and cost allocation. Unlike traditional one, ABC requires organizations to collect a large amount of detailed information about their activities. Identifying the activities that consume resources and selecting the most appropriate cost drivers for each activity is one of the challenges. If the wrong cost drivers are chosen, the cost allocation may not accurately reflect the actual resource used. In addition, organizations often need to collect data that they have never tracked before. For example, they may need to record the number of machine setups or the number of quality inspection conducted. And as a result, the process can become time-consuming and complex, especially for large organizations that perform many different activities every day. Another major challenge is the high cost of implementation. Implementing an ABC system requires a substantial investment in technology, employee training, and also sometimes about external consultants who have expertise in designing and maintaining the system. We need to continuously update to ensure costing information remains accurate and relevant, as if it will be less effective if not regularly updated. In addition, organizations may need to purchase specialized ABC software or integrate it into their existing ERP, which is Enterprise Resource Planning. These systems often need to customize to handle the large and detailed amount of data required by ABC. Next, it is particularly significant for many Malaysian SMEs. Companies such as Mami Double Decker and the Ramli Group may need to carefully prioritize their financial resources, as investing in a sophisticated costing system like ABC may not always be their immediate priority. Last but not least, characteristic of the service industry itself. Unlike manufacturing, service industries deal with intangible outputs, which make it more difficult to track how resources are consumed. Many costs in service organizations are shared or indirect, especially overhead costs such as administration and customer support. For example, in hospital, different patients may require different level of care. One patient may need only basic consultations, while another may require multiple tasks like treatment and also the specialized visits. As a result, the cost of providing service varies significantly from one patient to another. With digital transformation and Industry 4.0, activity-based costing is also evolving to stay relevant. One key development is time-driven activity-based costing, or TDABC. It simplifies traditional ABC by using time as the main cost drivers, making it more practical for modern organizations. Another important trend is digital integration. ABC is now being combined with cloud computing, big data analytics, and also artificial intelligence (AI), where data is generated every second. These technologies help organizations analyze costs in real time and make it quicker. In addition, ABC is increasingly integrated with Enterprise Resource Planning or ERP system, allowing cost data to be automatically captured from daily business activities. To conclude, ABC is a powerful tool that helps service industries understand their true costs more accurately. Whether in banking, hospitality, or healthcare, ABC improves decision making and enhances cost efficiency by linking expenses directly to activities. Despite its challenges, the future of ABC remains strong and continues to play a vital role in helping service organizations become more efficient, competitive, and financially sustainable.